All right. Well, today's Good Morning Hospitality headlines are giving credit card power plays, boutique hotel shakeups, airline shutdown drama, OTA layoffs, and one hotel lobby that literally couldn't keep it together. Let's get into it.
Ooh.
Yeah. It gets me every time.
That's good. Got me pumped up. I'm ready for this Wednesday. Sarah,
Whoa. Don't try too hard there, Steve.
I'm ready. Caffeinated, ready to go.
I
Went for
know.
a run this morning for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
And
How
now we're
far did you
going.
run?
I did a 5K. My brother motivated me. We were cheering him on because he did a full marathon over the weekend, the Miami Marathon. 18,500 runners, and he crossed the finish line. It was cool to see so many
Dude.
people out there. We were cheering him on, me and the kids, and it was fun. It was fun to see him do it. It got me motivated.
I love marathons. I saw that. I saw you post that online on social, and I also saw I had a lot of friends that were in that marathon.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of people. So wait, how long did he train for this?
He started in July.
Okay.
Him and his friend Mark Vins, we'll give a shout out to him. He has a YouTube channel called Brave Wilderness, which is a big channel on YouTube, and they were training
Okay.
together. And it was very cool. And
That's
got to
fun.
see them. And the fun part was, from Miami. So I was standing on the sidelines, and so many people come up, Mr. Turk or Steve, and were giving me high fives. People from hotel days
Oh
working.
my gosh, I love
And it
that.
was so nice to see them all out there. Paul Manzi, Digital
Oh
here.
yeah.
He's freezing up in Minneapolis. A lot of going on in Minneapolis too. So stay safe up there, buddy.
Freezing,
But
no
it was
pun
fun to
intended.
see. Again, another event from Miami. So many people. Streets were
Mhm.
packed. Just a really great way to showcase Miami. It was 80 degrees while the rest of the country was freezing. It was just a nice way to spend a Sunday and cheering everybody on. You get motivated. You see people like no arms, in a wheelchair, missing a leg, like all these different kind of people from all over with these goals that they set for themselves and crossing
Mhm.
that finish line. Really, I started getting emotional for a couple of people. It was pretty awesome.
Marathons are some of my favorite things to go and watch. I did the Los Angeles Marathon. Wow, I guess I did in 2015. I think I did, and it was wild. It was crazy to be part of, but and so like participating in it. I think the cool thing is that to get to go, and I would presume that this is the same for every large city, is you get to go through so many different neighborhoods.
Yes.
And then to see, it's for me the most heartwarming part. I didn't even put in music because I just wanted to be
Wow.
engaged with the city and to see people come out. Maybe they were supporting a family member, maybe they weren't. And they'd come out and they'd bring their oranges the families made a day out of it. And then to get to see all of these different neighborhoods that make up that big city. I don't know. For me, I mean, I get chills now just even thinking about it, but then obviously seeing the people that really are testing themselves. They gave themselves a goal to work towards. And as you said, they may be missing an arm. You can tell that maybe this might be like a big physical challenge for them. And I don't know. I love marathons. They're awesome.
All right. So there it is. That's the motivation. We're signing up, Sarah. We're gonna
Wait. I didn't say I want to do it again.
I did a bunch of half marathons and triathlons and a half Ironman. That was the biggest one. I never did the full marathon, so I'm gonna start doing that. But what triggered this? My brother last night, we were having dinner. He said, you should start right. We can do some racecations, right? So some
Yeah.
places to travel and go check out while you do a race. That was a whole other category we should check out for a show and see if
Ooh,
there's something
race
there.
stations.
So we'll give a shout out to David Turk on that one.
Oh, I like that. That's
Mhm.
definitely. I mean, we see people that go and they go bike and they go explore and do all of that. But I've done a bunch of half marathons, and I actually did the Red Rock Relay in Utah, also several years ago, where over the course of 24 hours we ran. It was like I think the group collectively ran like 180 miles, which
That's
was wild.
a long way to
Wild.
go. Well, for viewers and
Yeah.
listeners, if you're a runner, I would love to know so we can cheer each other on. And if you want to be held
Mhm.
accountable, I started today. Today was day one. I'm going to get into half marathon shape. I'm picking one this year, hopefully
Okay.
before the summer. So I'll be doing that. So if you want to hold each other accountable, need accountability partner. You got it right here. Good Morning Hospitality. We'll hold you accountable
right.
for it.
Maybe this weekend I'll give it a go. I've had a foot injury, which makes it hard to run outside, but maybe I can.
No, I was
figure
slow and steady today. Slow and steady. Just get across. That was the goal today.
That's what you got to do. And for those that are training for it, sometimes you just got to start with the goal of 1 mile and don't beat yourself up for that. Yeah. I remember many times where I'm like, we're just going to aim for a mile. And then you grow and then you grow. And then you know, oh, easy, 6 miles, no big.
Yeah, I was happy 3 miles today. I was like, all right, I got it. Still in there somewhere, muscle memory. But enough of us talking about running. We'll talk about some vacations and some travel and some other fun stuff. What do we got?
Well, oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh gosh. All right. Let's, look at this.
I like it. Don't let it defeat you. Is that mom right there?
That's my mom. That's my mom. We
I like that one.
Honey family. That's so great. Why don't we go ahead and get into it? Let's talk about Thanks, Kay. Keep it coming though. Okay, keep it. You're not off the hook. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into our first topic here. That actually had to do with Capital One. So Capital One, basically, Capital One Travel adds Discover cardholders in a push to rival Chase and Amex. So basically, what that is Capital One quietly just got a whole lot bigger as far as in travel because of Discover. Some Discover cardholders now get access to Capital One Travel and Entertainment, as basically the accounts are migrating into one Capital One system, which will be phased through 2027. Discover has roughly 600 million cardholders. So this is definitely a scale play.
It was amazing. Yeah. We bought them for $35 billion, which is a giant number. And what I didn't realize, I'm not sure what you use in your wallet. Say, what's in your wallet, right? I think that's Capital One. Yeah. As I'm very loyal to American Express. I don't know why. I think it was my first credit card when I was in college, and I just kind of stuck with it. Yeah. I do have a Chase, which I use when I can't use my American Express, but I don't have a Capital One. But it was interesting to see that Chase is the number one credit card travel agency. They did $11 billion, which is huge numbers. And then American Express is right behind at $10 billion. And then they don't have the numbers for Discover or Capital One yet. It wasn't publicly disclosed, but they're the 7th and 8th largest travel agencies in the entire world, Chase and American Express. So it's amazing to see just from the points that people get and how they're using it. It is shocking. So what are you using most? I'm curious. What credit card are you using when you're out and about?
My Amex is business. My Amex Platinum, Business Platinum is business. And then Chase Sapphire Reserve is personal. There is a lot of overlap. I mean, these are also pricey cards. And so there is a lot. And I've thought like, oh, do I really need it? But I've kind of had that. And I do have Capital One. I have a couple of Capital Ones. I probably have like, I don't know. I think I have like 13 credit cards, but I only really use 2 of them.
Interesting.
Very nice. Dude,
13. No, I'm rolling with 4 really. So not even then. That's it.
It's building. It's the weird, like, build your credit game, because you have to have like access
points and all different things, and you hit certain bonuses. Like, that's why I signed up for Chase. I remember if I spent a little bit, I got like 50,000 points. I was like, all right, I can use that for a trip.
I mean, honestly, I don't use most of those credit cards, but it shows that as far as like a whole, I have access to XYZ in credit. And so and then I only have a little bit that I'm actually using and I'm spending every month. So it ups your credit score real quick.
I like it. Smart way to do it. We got Lou here. Lou saying, I used to run every day for 25 years, but knees won't let me do that now. Walk 2 hours a day now. Lou, you're moving, man. Covering those mileage either way, walking or running. Cool. I love it.
No, that's great.
Getting out there, making it happen. So as I run, I will be using the American Express card. I'm still not on Capital One, but maybe I'll find a Capital One to sign up for this week. Let's see.
Well, question for everybody that's joining us. Do you actually book through the credit card travel portals, or do you say you will and then do you look at it? I mean, I don't book a lot of my travel through my credit cards.
I do most, I would say, unless I find something really standout deal on airline, because I get the points. I get 5 times points on American Express Platinum. And I like my fine hotels and resorts. points that I get early check-in and guaranteed late checkout, and
Yeah.
$100 credit on property. I like all those things. So
I have so many different ways of booking. Like I have an IATA number so I can book and get those things for
yeah,
myself. So,
not every
but-
time. Like my IATA actually, I let it run out at the end of the last year.
dude,
I know. I
we're
gotta
gonna
see.
talk offline. We'll get you
Yes,
hooked up. 2
yeah,
seconds.
yes.
Seriously, like 2 seconds.
But yes, but I wouldn't get the same deals, right? You had to like search, and it was a little harder. Use the portal and sign up and see what you could get. But
Well,
either way, I'm just trying to. I like to see that people are booking so many things, using their
yeah,
points, getting into travel, checking out new hotels. I have a lot of friends that check out hotels that they normally wouldn't be able to afford if they hadn't
yeah.
saved up all their points. And
This is
so I
true.
like that.
This is true. And what's going to be interesting, because obviously I think when we think of like Amex, you think of luxury, and maybe Capital One isn't necessarily perceived at that, but this is going to be a volume game, and maybe for the everyman booker, I think will be interesting with that.
Well, I'll keep having Jennifer Garner remind me what's in my wallet, so I'll go get it. I'll go get one.
Crazy. All right, let's go on to our next topic here. Garner, I can't with you. So this is kind of cool. So Ian Schrager is he's tapped Highgate to basically help expand public hotels. I mean, for those that don't know, the legend Ian Schrager, he is basically, I mean, well, first of all, Studio 54 fame. Yeah, for those that really want to go back, that was before my time, our
I
time.
feel like
But
Kay Frederick was there. I feel like she was bopping around.
yeah, Kay Frederick, were you bopping around Studio 54? That's a yes. But Ian Schrager, I mean, he's, what he really then became after the Studio 54 era, really was the guy he's like the father of boutique hotels. And, he's obviously been associated with different brands. The most recent one is Public. And so for him, he's really trying to look at scaling it. So that's kind of cool to see that he's partnering with Highgate and hoping that they can really grow it more. So there's a New York flagship. They've got West Hollywood right down the street from where I am right now. That's going to be opening this spring. I actually know where it is. I should drive by and like get a picture of it, because I think it's going to be the old Standard Hotel. So it's iconic as far as on the Sunset Strip.
Nice.
But this will be good. I think this will be good for him and getting that brand out there.
Yeah, for him, he's a great creator of spaces and what people want, and is really out, thinks about what people should be doing and how to be in spaces. I worked at Delano Hotel, which was his flagship down here on South Beach, when it was part of Morgan's Hotel. And part of the orientation was going through why Ian Schrager picked this $25,000 chair to be sitting in the lobby, and why this was a certain way, and how every alcove between the columns was a different type of feeling, so you could pick the vibe that you wanted, and why the bar was set up this way. And it was just amazing to learn those things. And part of the genius, which I still say today, if you have small hotel rooms, at the Delano, they were tiny hotel rooms. They're remaking it now. But he wanted them small because he didn't want people in the room. He wanted people down using the amenities and creating the vibe downstairs.
In the public spaces. Ding, ding, ding.
But I want people to forget, Edition Hotels was Ian Schrager and Marriott creating their brand and really allowing him to create and build spaces and use all the things that he had learned. And that brand took off. And then he went on his own and started to create something new with Public. But it is hard. You need someone to help you build, right? And I like what he's doing, where he says, I don't want to be that business guy chasing down deals and looking for the real estate and seeing if pro forma makes sense and doing all those things. It's let me create the vision for this property, the vibe, the playlist, the lighting, what the gardens are going to look like, what is it going to be. But Public is a little bit different now. They're starting to change a little bit to more of a staff light. Right?
Yes.
Right. Not at the fancy restaurants. They're looking for more fast casual takeout in there.
iPad check-in.
And I think that's really a signal, which I'm seeing now too. It's so expensive now to run and have labor, and trying to adapt and still give guests what they want and taking great care of them. But how do you do it mixing in technology and using those labor dollars back into the product? It's an interesting balance to see what they're going to come up with. It's
sort of this strike between, are we going to keep the vibe? Because he's a vibe master. He's a vibe creator. And so it's like vibe. And then there's also a focus on efficiency. So can you be efficient and still have a vibe, or does the magic end up disappearing? I mean, does it end up turning into, it's just a cool lobby, like with QR codes? I don't know, but it's like, does that help the coolness or does it not? So, but I have a feeling that if anybody can navigate it, it's Ian Schrager.
Yeah, there was one thing I still use it to this day. I love it. When I was in charge of all the restaurants at Delano Hotel, the lighting had to be at a certain level, and it was marked, right? It was picked by him at this level, and the music had to be a certain level, because at that lighting at night with the candlelight, everyone looked sexy. So you couldn't look bad. You didn't see the pimple. You didn't see maybe some blemishes.
Wait, what's
right?
the sexy lighting? We need to know
lighting. Everyone looks good in that lighting, and it's true, right? And you're on that date and you're spending money, and then the music's at a certain level to where you're vibing and a certain beats per minute, but you can still have a conversation, but not hear the other conversations going on. And so that's what's very cool about those things. And I've taken that now with me everywhere. And as I'm building out my place now, I'm looking at playlists as what's the beats per minute in the morning? When does it start elevating in the afternoon? When does it start to track down? So it's pretty fun to do that. And I shout out to him. He doesn't know who I am, but I definitely worked in his places, and he left a big impact on me and thousands of other people with his products. So shout out to him.
There's a science to that. Actually, I met on one of the panels I was on, a gentleman that, gosh, I have to think back, who works at a company, and that's like really what they specialize in, is making sure like the lighting, the music is okay. And case in point, last night I was at Soho House in West Hollywood with friends, and we were having dinner. And by the way, Soho House on a Tuesday night in West Hollywood was popping.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I was like, if this is a Tuesday night, I don't want to see it on a Saturday night. You probably wouldn't be able to like move anywhere. But it was interesting because for those that know me, I am very audibly oriented. So it's not uncommon for me to be in a conversation and all of a sudden be like, that's an interesting song choice. That's my ADD coming in, squirrel. But last night we were there, and then all of a sudden the music went up and it was playing some song. And I'm like, what is this? Is not the vibe. Yeah. And it was interesting because I was looking around like, it needs to be solved.
Yeah. But that's part of what was a big thing that I learned at hotel and taken everywhere else. Like, especially restaurants, you can mess up the vibe very quickly by playing something that doesn't need to be in that space. But I could talk about this all day. It's some of my favorite parts of creating vibes with different types of candles and scents and sounds and what everything feels like. It's a fun part of hotels.
Steve Turk, the vibe master.
Well, I'll take it.
You're welcome. All right, let's get to our next topic here, which is, this is interesting. So American Airlines, you fly American, right?
I think I'm loyal to American Airlines. I'll say it out loud. They're my favorite.
You say it out loud. You just do that. They basically have been saying that kind of like the government shutdown really hit them harder. Basically looking at last year, American said that the shutdown hit revenue by about $325 million, which is bigger than Delta and United. Certainly impacted. Impacted domestic travel, especially like Reagan National. That's also another big hub for them. This is again just that reminder of the ripple effect of a government, shutdown. It's like and it's not just even government like travel, but just everything is shut down.
But they were cutting back on flights. Remember, they didn't have enough people in the air traffic control, and they didn't have enough people to, man the stations, and they had to cut back on 10% of the flights. I remember at one point we reported, and a lot of delays and having to give money back to people, and then not having people fly into DC and do business there. Yeah, it's tough. But, in our article here on Skift, it shows there might be another shutdown coming with all the things going on in our world right now. And so they're preparing for that ahead of time. And trying to do their best to sell and get things moving in anticipation that something may be coming again. So hopefully not, but we'll have to see.
Hopefully not. Well, what's also interesting, they came out, you can even just see in the news over this past weekend where I feel like everybody got snow except us. Where literally 2/3 of the United States was covered in snow. Everybody needed a collective snow day, but American is still putting the pieces back. They are still getting it together from that. That was, what are we now? We're on Wednesday, and like really
3 days in,
You know,
4
the
days in.
snow hit was Sunday, but I have friends of mine that were flying back from Dallas. They were going to Las Vegas. Luggage still nowhere to be found. So
It's just crazy. I had a friend who's the general manager of a hotel in Chicago. Fly
yeah.
down. We met at poolside in Miami, and he's like,
Mm.
Steve, this was an 80-degree or 90-degree temperature swing for me because it's 0 degrees or like with a wind chill that feels -20. And now I'm sitting here poolside. I was like, hey, I don't know what to tell you, but Miami, this is where it's at in the wintertime.
I don't know
So
what to
everyone
tell
can
you,
over
but
here. And Lou
coastal.
flying American Friday. So hopefully, Lou, you're going to be good. Going on a
You'll be good.
15-day Panama Canal cruise. All right, what cruise line are you going on? That sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know a little bit more about that. That actually looks like a lot of fun. That's great. So yeah, I mean, it's not great news for American, but yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of hurdles over the past.
Keep
I don't
flying.
know.
They'll make it. They'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get over. I'm trying to be mindful of the time here. Let's get on here to our next topic, which is not necessarily a positive one, but Expedia. They are cutting jobs yet again. Interesting enough, while promoting about 250 open roles. So they're doing this sort of corporate, we like to call it a corporate two-step. So layoffs, and then we're also hiring, a restructuring, so to speak. But they're not saying exactly how many positions were cut, but I mean, you can tell, and it makes sense. Obviously, yeah, exactly. It's restructuring, obviously based on speed, also future skills. So think like AI, product efficiency, all of that. And I mean, we're just going to continue to see more of it, I think.
Yeah, I went on their website. I wanted to see what jobs were available. So I hopped in. I did
Oh,
some, this is called reporting, is what I was
you did
doing. Or
recon.
I'm doing a little recon, getting in there. It's journalism.
Okay.
I'm a journalist now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Well,
know.
I can see you are.
So I went in there.
Love
There's
it.
118 open jobs in the U.S. A lot, though, kind of on the West Coast. But there's an interesting one, all different levels. I don't know the pay. They don't have it listed. But one I thought was pretty interesting was a creative traffic manager. So I guess traffic to the website had to be creative and get traffic to the website. I was like, that sounds really interesting. So I started looking at the job descriptions. It's kind of, I don't know how many layoffs. It could be 10,000 and they only have 250 openings, right? But it's just interesting to see what kind of jobs, where are the jobs? And if you have to move, are you really going to take that job? And it just becomes for other people, right? So that's the other tough part when they say, hey, we have openings, but I have to move across the country to get there.
Look, we're going to
And
continue
open
to
for
see
me in
more.
Miami, though.
No. Oh, so they're your dreams of applying for
Working
that job.
Expedia, you're dashed.
That's crazy. Well, yeah. I mean, again, I think we're just going to continue to see so much more of this over a lot of the big brands. I mean, we are in this time. I mean, we talk about it all the time. AI, it's changing so much, and
it's getting faster and faster now too. That's going to be the interesting thing.
Of course. So yeah, stay tuned for more of that because that will continue to happen. But why don't we keep it moving and get to our unhinged travel story of the week?
I feel bad for these people.
Yeah, dude. Well, first of all, we're talking about Norman, Oklahoma. Go ahead and see if you can watch this video, and we'll talk about it. Let's see.
Look at our producing. We got it.
Oh my god.
Look at this.
That sucks so bad.
I agree.
Oh my god.
That does suck so bad.
Woo! Oh
What
man.
the heck?
That sucks so bad. That sucks.
You stole her line. Okay, so for those that didn't see the video version of this, we basically showed a video that it was a water leak at an Embassy Suites lobby where part of the ceiling collapses. I mean, yeah. So the good thing is it just affected the lobby. No guests were hurt. No guests were harmed in the making of that live video. But yeah, dude. So we were talking before the show and you were saying, okay, tell us about this story. This is crazy.
Both times at South Beach. Once at Lowe's Miami Beach Hotel and once at the Eden Rock Hotel when I've worked at both. You get these crazy summer storms where the amount of rain is like a hurricane for an hour. And it just starts coming in. And some of these buildings have older pipes and different things. And I'll never forget The worst one was at the Lowe's. All of a sudden, the entire front desk area, just like that, water pouring out of the light bulbs from every light bulb, from every crevice. You start worrying that the whole ceiling's going to collapse. You have to move guests out of the way because just like this guest, they want to film it. You're like, please get out of the way. Let me clean this area up,
safe.
and try to like get engineering on the horn and get them up to the floor. And they're trying to figure out like, what am I supposed to do with all this rain and water flying in, and just holding down the bunker and hoping it doesn't collapse. And then same thing at the Eden Rock, which was even worse because it's a much older building from 1954, and it was just like pouring out of every AC vent. So just imagine like a beautiful waterfall feature that's not supposed to be there, going into the lobby.
To exist.
But that is rough, and I feel for those people because all of a sudden you're having a normal day in the hotel. Like, all right, it's not such a rough day today. Everything going smoothly. Then your whole ceiling collapse. Oh my gosh! And especially an embassy suite. That's tough. That's a tough one to have.
It's crazy. So I remember at a couple of the properties I worked at. I mean, obviously being Southern California, we don't do rain. We have gotten a lot of rain in the past several years, but we do not do rain. And I'll never forget at the London hotel, they had just like renovated this 9th floor. It was gorgeous. And then we had a crazy rainstorm, and all of these brand new suites started leaking. And I just remember being horrified, and I felt so bad because it's water damage too, and brand new suites that you're advertising, people are excited to be in, and nope, that stuff was not built to withstand any sort of water and precipitation.
Rough. Anytime you open a new hotel too, you learn all these funky things that start happening. I opened a hotel, the Trump Doral, before all the politics, and one of the units, for whatever reason, the toilets just wouldn't flush, and all the toilets overflowed all over the place and all of the floor that was there. So you just never know in hotels. It's like, just gets crazy. You got to test and test and test. And even then you open, you never know what's going to happen. So shout out to these people at the Embassy Suites. I'm sure they handled it well. But that is a crazy story to end the day. Our unhinged story of the week.
Super unhinged. Let us know if you like these stories. I love it. I think it's just a great reminder that
I don't care if you guys don't like it. I'm still doing it. Let's keep it going.
We don't care. We do care though. But yes, no, of course. It's a reminder of like stuff can definitely go sideways real
all the
quick.
time.
All right. So why don't we get into our real-time recap? What's happening out there on the streets of hospitality? You like my wave?
Let me think what I ended up doing. I went to
didn't like my dance move.
That was great. It caught me off guard here. I liked it. On the streets of hospitality, I told you about the marathon. Marathon was great. I loved when the city steps up and does a great job. And what was cool about it was while we were waiting for my brother to finish, we hit up 3 different places: a farmer's market happening in Margaret Pace Park, a coffee shop in World Center, and then ended up in the Design District for a dinner at like the food hall they have there, the MIA food hall. Yeah. And that's when everything was great, and the vibe was good, and everyone was nice. And even though there was a heavy volume of people, everyone really was working hard to make sure everyone got what they needed. And so just a great, great time to see when people really step up and creative and all different kind of things, right? Mom and pop farmers market, coffee shop in a downtown center, and then over in Design District. Really good. So I loved it. I can only say I love going out and seeing people do well.
That's awesome. And it's cool. And you know what? There's always a reminder of like, there's a space for everybody. So I'm going to do 2 quick shout outs. One, in Las Vegas, there's a place called Rise and Shine Breakfast. And our server greeted us in an avocado suit. Like it was literally like an avocado print suit we talked to him. And then like he walks away and we're like, wait, was he wearing an avocado print suit? And ended up coming back, talking. And the place was kitschy, but what was so cool is it was a vibe, like the whole thing from the server. They had like shirts afterwards that had like all these like funny sayings on them, like spooning leads to forking and like other stuff. But it was cute. It was great. Again, it's in a time where I think so many brands go more vanilla and mainstream, to have a company that's like, we are just going to embrace our whole quirkiness. We need that. Like we need that color, that spice, the weird fun. I mean, it's a breakfast place.
What was the name of the place?
Rise and Shine Breakfast, or Rise and Shine something.
Yeah, but those are what makes things fun, right? Are these mom and pop places that I feel like are disappearing slowly in a lot of places, especially my city. Rents are really expensive, but I agree with you. It makes it really fun.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
just
And
good. I'm finding a hospitality quote for us.
Oh yeah, yeah. Find a hospitality quote. The other quick shout out will be to the Soho House in West Hollywood. So it'd been a while since I'd been there, and we've talked about Soho House for some time, and even just where the whole members clubs are standing and how they're doing. But I will give them a lot of credit. The server that we had definitely had a great personality. I've definitely had times where they've been maybe not as great personality, but the service was top notch. So shout out for them. If you still have a membership, they got it going on.
Very nice. All right, hospitality quote. I put it in our chat. I'll read it for us.
Oh, please do.
True hospitality consists of giving the best of yourself to your guests. And that's from Eleanor Roosevelt. So I like that very much, right? It is. You really have to give yourself the best of yourself to your guests, and they end up enjoying themselves even more. That's just what it's all about.
Totally. And it's that again, you just have to show up. Look, no day is the same, but show up, and so long as you are giving the best of yourself, like things will happen, but it's amazing what you can end up navigating. Plus, you are your reputation. So yeah, right. You are your reputation. So you have the ability to change it. And if you show up as your best self, your reputation will be one of excellence.
That's a great way to end the show today. Good job. Great job, Sarah.
Wow.
Well, we covered a lot here. And so, viewers and listeners, I know that there's definitely a story here that's worth sharing with one of your friends. So make sure to pause this, hit that little arrow, share it with somebody that will find some value. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Skiff with all the great articles and news and videos and podcasts that come out every single day. So until next week, Sarah, what should we do?
Stay hospitable.